Hello and welcome to lab session number 3. This is about youth leadership, the best session. We've actually got 3 of our crew, what we call crew coaches in our community. They are gurus when it comes to leading our young people, legends in the game, you might call it. We have Caroline, Chris, and we've got Chris as well, which is beautiful, Tell us a little bit about yourselves, like where do you work, what age group, what's going on?
I'll start in here, yeah? Alright, cool.
Yeah.
My name is Chris Frimpong, just to distinguish the two. I work for one of the London councils as a youth specialist, so I help young people between the age of 16 and 24 managing projects to get them back into education and work. And I look after kids aged between 11 to 18 in church, which are fuel and wildlife.
Yeah, great, man. That's cool. So you work with young people,
Yep.
and then you volunteer with young people.
Correct.
That's a lot of young people you're like. It's good. Chris?
Yeah, my name is Chris Sanchez. I am the personal assistant to our UK youth and young adults pastor. And I also look after our wildlife group, which is 14 to 18 year olds.
Yeah,
And
nice.
me, hey. So I'm a trainee accountant. Literally just started my new job like a month ago, which is crazy. And then I look after Fuel, which is our 11 to 14 year olds. So
Beautiful.
all fun and games.
Yeah. Off the bat, what I love about this is like you work in this completely different industry compared to you.
Yeah.
It's very different, right? That you work in our church here, which is great, but it just shows like it's not like a cookie cutter kind of vocation. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to, look like Chris to be a youth leader.
Talking about you.
It's beautiful. Okay, we don't have much time, so the clock hasn't started, so we can go as long as we like. It's the best, but we don't have a lot of time, so we're gonna get straight into it. You've told us the age groups that you're a part of and everything like that. What is your favorite thing about the young people that you look after? Don't all go.
I'm gonna go first. Personally, the relationship you get to build with them and the banter that comes with that, I've got to say, is one of the best.
Yeah, they definitely
As much
come
fun
with
as
the
it
banter
is,
there.
it's also annoying, I'm sure you guys.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
I think for me, you get to relive your childhood low-key.
Ah.
So all the things you didn't do, you get to do.
Yeah, right.
So
You get to live your life through them.
Yeah, I'm like, we're doing this together, guys. I think that's really cool. And I think just the fact that you get to give back to people and you can actually see the fruits of it, I think that's like a beautiful thing for me.
No, really
That's
cool.
big. And I think for me, just seeing them grow, like as I said, 11 to 14s, you get them at 11 years old, they leave at 14, they're completely different people. And seeing that transition is actually just insane. And just seeing that growth is really nice. Then they move on to wildlife and just ignore you. But yeah.
Yeah, you'll get your thanks one day. Maybe in heaven, but Okay, cool. Next question then. What is the biggest thing? Well, let me phrase it this way. What do you get? What's one thing that you get out of it? Like as an individual, as a person in your spiritual walk, serving these young people, what's something that you get out of it?
I think the ability to be able to speak into and sow and empower the life, right, of a young person, that's about to come into that young adulthood, right? Get to talk about maybe some of the mistakes, the stuff that you've gone through, and you get to talk to them about it and how they can take a different approach to life. I think that's one of my favorite things. Just seeing them, make sure they don't do the same mistakes that I did, and they can take a different approach.
So you get a bit of like fulfillment from that.
Yeah, 100%.
To see someone else like not have to go through the stuff that you went through as a kid. That's
Or even
cool.
if they are going through, it's like, hey, I'm here for you. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
It's cool. Caroline?
Yeah, these kids lead me sometimes.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like
It's
I'm trying
actually
to
really
sow
true.
into them and they're like giving me Bible verses. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's insane. But yeah, I think we get out so much more than we think we would get out of it. Like we're there to lead them, but actually, like I said, they lead us, they pray for us, they encourage us, and that's just insane. I think as well, just seeing them grow, like nothing matches it.
Yeah,
Nothing
right.
matches seeing them go from someone that's shy to someone that just completely is walking in who God calls them to be.
Yeah.
What that means, which is amazing to
No, for
see
sure,
happen,
yeah. It's really cool.
They stole my answers.
Oh yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, I think there's many things. I think one thing as well is accountability, because if you're leading young people, you want to lead a life that they respect. Also,
great.
That's a big thing. So you're like, oh, maybe that's not the wisest thing to do because you're accountable to the people you serve. I think also like it helps you tell the gospel to other people easier, because you're trying to tell a young person the gospel. How much easier is it to tell an adult, your mom, your dad? So I think that's a big thing that I personally take from youth. Like, we were talking about community. I can go to work and talk to my colleague about community because I've done it in crews in a simpler way. So I think that's a big thing that I take from youth as well.
So there's actually things that you can take not only into your real life, but like your workplace as well.
100%.
Oh wow, that's a very good advert. I should do that. You should get involved right now. There's a QR code right. No, we'll talk about that later. But what's really, really interesting is like, you know, we're really, really blessed that we're in a post-pandemic world here in the UK, right? Like we're not wearing masks right now, which is, you know, beautiful. It's amazing. It's incredible. We are blessed. But what was really interesting is I was reading this morning, they did a survey with young people coming out of the pandemic, back into school and everything like that. And what they actually found is that it wasn't that they were scared of the vaccine or scared of even COVID itself, but the issues that young people face pre-pandemic and post-pandemic were really, really similar. So the biggest concern was loneliness. The second biggest concern was a fear of their future. And then the third one, which is really the only one that was really COVID related, was they were fearful that they wouldn't be able to get back into normal life, like being around their friends. So I find it really interesting that the world's changed, the circumstances have changed, but the issues that we deal with young people are still completely the same. And so I guess my question off the back of that is how, in those three issues, like let's say like loneliness, relationships, how is it that you as youth leaders actually engage young people and build relationship with them?
I think one key for me I've learned with doing youth is that not to be a teacher. Because sometimes you're dealing with youth, you can just want to supervise the room, like, hey guys, preacher speaking now, be quiet, and you can almost just be like a supervisor. And I think young people, like, everything is engaging them, right? There's everything's being thrown at them, but actually there's very few times where people actually meet young people at where they're at. And I think like Jesus did, he actually met people where they're at. So we have the opportunity, as they're dealing with these three things that have never changed, is actually like, let me meet where you're at. Like if you're feeling lonely, like what you're going through. Because I think sometimes we don't often have the conversation. We just kind of like, we know these things, but we don't discuss these things with people, young people.
Yeah.
So it's almost just trying to meet them in that place where you can actually have open dialogue.
Yeah, I think open dialogue is really, really important because I think in John, what I find really interesting, in the Gospels where like, you know, Jesus is doing his discipling, a lot of the time he spends with them, he's actually just reminding them of who he is, but then also reminding themselves of who they are, and the role that they play in the bigger picture of what's going on. And so like that consistency, that consistent reminder of like, no, I know that this is what the world says, but actually, like, this is who you are. And being able to have that open dialogue, meeting people where they're at, I think is so important. This is why you're a guru. I like it. It's good.
I think something I would say is sometimes people forget that young people, especially our youth, they are really out there looking for an older role model. They really forget about that. Like they are actually craving some sort of community where they have that kind of older role model. And I think that's the biggest, call it, opportunity and advantage that we have. Because if we're working with them, you know what I mean, it's the perfect opportunity to get in there.
Yeah, great. But how do you do that? Because I think you're really good at that.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I remember I experienced it firsthand, right? I remember I came to know Jesus when I was 18, 19, but at that kind of age, I remember I had this older role model. He was, and just the way he was doing life, the way he was leading, invited me in, talked to me. I think approached me.
Yeah.
Asked
And
me
sometimes
questions.
that's scarier than you think. isn't it?
Exactly, because I'm thinking, what is this older? You want to
Yeah,
talk to me?
well,
Like,
yeah.
what's going on?
Right.
Right, and then taking it to that next level, just conversation. I think it calls it creating relationship, and then there's just the listening and being there for you. And I think the biggest thing of all is, as a young person, you always know when someone cares for you, when there's that
Right.
genuine care.
Yeah.
They know how to call you out if you're being fake.
Yeah.
So for you to show that, hey, I care for you, and it goes outside of the just doing, call it crews,
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah, like small groups and all of
Exactly.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's pointing them out when they're by
I
themselves.
feel like you're
or-
speaking from experience.
Yeah,
There's a
exactly.
story here.
But yeah, that's one of the things I would say.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Very good.
It goes back to being real, isn't it? Like you said, they know when you're being fake.
100%.
And it's a two-way relationship. Like, I've had so many times that I'm asking them what's going on in their week, what can I pray for, and they turn it back on me and go, what's going on in my week, what can they pray for?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And they want to be involved. Like, you're their youth leader, they care.
Yeah.
So yeah, two-way.
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah, because I was just in terms of, well, off the back of what you guys are saying, I'm just thinking back to like the structure that we've created within our community to make sure that those things are done. Like we've got that, we all know the running through the six and everything like that, where it's like pray for them, which
Yeah.
you need to do, because especially if you don't like them. Pray for them,
Oh, gosh.
celebrate birthdays, all of that kind of beautiful stuff. Hopefully we'll get it up on screen and things like that. But it's amazing because they turn it back on you. And that's them actually through reflection. What's it called? Not visual learning, kinesthetic learning. They're like, oh yeah,
Them bars,
I'm
mate.
with you. Yeah, I've been reading the
reading,
dictionary
that's
this
a lot of
morning. But they're learning through
Yeah.
experience. They're learning
Yeah.
through relationship with us as older people, and we get to be role models and everything like that, which is great. Now, we've got time for one more question, really, really, really quickly, right? Because this session is about being the youth leader that you didn't have.
Yeah.
So what's one piece of advice you would give yourself if you had to go back to the first week that you were a youth leader? Really quickly.
Jeez.
Just always be you.
Yeah.
Just don't try to be anyone, just be yourself.
That's-
Because
wow.
real recognize real. That's honest truth when it comes to you.
Real, recognize, real. Wow,
Yeah.
put that in a book.
I would say, just be quick to listen. Listen to them before start giving them a solution to whatever problem they're going through.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as you. Don't try to be a leader like everyone else. Like, we have this culture of like wearing what Chris is wearing. Like,
Wow!
no shame, no shame.
Just stop.
Just facts, just facts.
Just not trying to fit in with everyone else. Like, you are a youth leader, you bring something else to the table, just doing that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to wear all the cool clothes, although you look great, but
Thank
you
you,
don't have to
thank
wear
you.
all
No,
the
yeah,
cool
thank
clothes,
you.
you don't have
Standing
to,
like Aaron.
yeah, you don't have to do that, so just being real, being yourself,
Yeah, great. Huh?
authenticity.
Really, really good advice, man. We could talk for days about young people and how to come alongside them, but we've run out of time. But there's still an opportunity for you to get involved across the UK. Like I said, we've got a QR code right there in the corner of the screen, or you can scroll down, click the link in the description. There's a form you can fill out and we can go from there. Just do it. It benefits the young person, it benefits you. Best of both worlds, win-win. Enjoy the next session. It's been lovely having you, and we'll see you later.